And welcome back to another episode of Big Apple Hockey. I am your host for the night. You know me as Philk. My real name or government name is John Fulkowski. Follow me on Twitter at 92and82. I'm on there. Again, I rave like a lunatic about this team. So you will be at the very least entertained by what I'm doing on there. I guarantee that. And hey everybody, I see MJ in here again. Diane, Davey, David, Mike, Rick, Shefra. See you all in here. All Dylan, thank you all for being on here. DP, Sean, guys, what's going on? Gotta be loving this game. You know what time it is. Let's get into it. It's that time. It's the good. Oh, it's really just the good tonight because this was another game where they were doing nothing but good things. So, really, I don't think I could think of anything that was really bad tonight. A lot of good things to go over. And for that, you know what, Ariana? Hey, good to have you back. Matt, good to see you. I always see you liking my stuff on Twitter, Matt. So, thank you for that. Again, like I said, follow me. Bruce, welcome back. Haven't seen you in a while. Dylan, definitely right about this. Georgiev playing amazing. Yeah, Laffy's waking up. David, yeah, I didn't think Hunt was good. I didn't think he was terrible, but you know what? Yeah, I didn't like taking 2 penalties on the power play either, Sean, but didn't really come back to hurt them, so I'm not going to complain. But let's get on with it. So, first talking point. How can we not like what that second line is doing? They were dominant tonight. And you know what for that? Beer time. Salute, everybody. Let's crack one open because this was a good night. Chris, welcome back. I see you there. I have Laffy. Yeah, we're going to talk about Laffy in a little bit too. So, refs, yeah, I didn't think the refs are terrible. Not like the Tampa games. But yeah, they some of the calls were a little weak, but whatever. But I just think it's whatever. They played well despite everything. I really can't complain too much. So cheers, Shefra. I see that. So, but this is a good night. This is a really good night. And the second line was the big, big part of it. Justin, it sounds like you need to be joining me with a beer. You got no work tomorrow, and a Rangers win, and a Georgiev save. Yeah. Diane Edmonton was definitely a little chippy. You know what, Gene? This is a great point here. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, too. I'm seeing all the comments. You guys are overwhelming with your comments. I love this already. The save by Georgiev on McDavid. Amazing. Just, I yelled out. I probably scared the crap out of my landlords. One of my landlords is he's a Ranger fan himself, so he probably knows why it was, save was sick on 97. Definitely was. Absolute brilliance by Georgiev right there with that glove. No glove, no love, baby. That's how we do it. Oh, yeah! I had to get my Macho Man moment out. If I don't speak like Randy Savage during a day, I haven't really lived that day. So I always speak like Macho Man. It happens just once a day with me, at least. So, but yeah, the second line was amazing. I thought they were great. They were the best line on the ice. Sam and Joe were raving about them all night. Gene, I'm gonna get to this in a little bit. You know what? Because I totally agree with this. I'm gonna get to this in just a little bit. But yeah, the second line was great. I thought they were so good. It just amazing with what they were doing. I have listened to the Randy Savage CD. I have Hulk Hogan, Be a Man. Yeah, I've listened to it. So it's just it's ridiculous. It's bad, but it's cheesy and it's funny. So yeah. But Gene, another good point. We're going to talk about him in a little bit too. But hopefully, Bruce, I just saw your comment. Hopefully we'll be feeling better. So Hopefully you'll be feeling better. I mean, DP, I hope they don't deal him. I would rather not. So, yeah, Ravishing Rick Rube. I could tell everybody to basically sit back as I take my clothes off because they're sweat hogs, stuff like that. Goodrow, we'll talk about Goodrow in a little bit too. You guys are killing me with the comments here. I love it. Keep them coming. Overwhelmed right now, but I'm gonna try to stick to my points, and then I'm gonna try to get all of your comments in and do this. Oh my God, it's just we have a lot to talk about tonight. A lot of good stuff to talk about. MJ, yes, Nemeth needs to stay on whatever vacation he is staying on. Please keep him on there. So yes, yeah, keep Nemeth out of this lineup. They're playing better out. Chris, this is another one of the things I'm going to talk about in a little bit, but second line was great. Second line was amazing. I thought they were great together. And even Dave Maloney was talking about in the postgame. They were talking about Stib. Welcome back, by the way. I see you. You know what? The second line was just awesome. They were all over the place. They were easily the best line in the ice. Ryan Strome was the best player on the ice. He got first star of the game for a reason. He was the best player on the ice. And you're right about this, Joe. Last two games, 71 saves, 1 goal allowed against two of the very best, I should say, offensive teams in the league. Great night. What's up, Dave? Welcome back, Stintastic. I see you guys. Yeah, Strome did that last year, Stintastic. He did. So, Kurt, welcome back, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see you too, Brody. Just good night, man. It's a good night for all of you guys, for everybody here, for all of us, for the team. Just good time to be a Ranger fan right now. Just playing well. But this line has been working because this man has stepped it up. This man did it again. He did it last year when Panarin was out on his leave of absence. Ryan Strome was over a point per game while he was out. And what has he done this year? He stepped it up again in these past 2 games. Just Ryan Strome seems to like when the pressure is on, when he's asked to give that little extra. I mean, it's amazing. This guy plays so well right now. He's playing so well. He's got to be re-signed. He's got to be. This guy's playing great. So, I mean, and Shefford, this is just, you're right. They're just all these guys, all the talent that they have, especially with Schneider and Robertson and Jones. I mean, you got Fox, Lindy, and Keandre. Just so much good depth on defense going forward. Hey, John, what's going on, buddy? Gene, yeah. I mean, Jared McCann would be great. I just don't know what the price on him is going to be, but yeah. Spooner and Strome is the trade of the decade. You might be right about this, Mike. You might be right, because that was an absolute steal. Yeah. But yeah, he's been the reason why that line has been as good as it's been, because that line has been driving these last 2 games. And Strome even said in the post-game interview he's got chemistry with both Lafreniere from playing with him last year and Goodrow from playing with him this year. And he looks comfortable between the two of them. And it looks like his type of play has elevated them. And they said something about Strome during the game. I think it was Joe was saying it, how McDavid was not happy about Strome being traded because he's one of those guys that really gets along with everybody in the locker room. I can't agree with it more. Ryan Strome seems to have fans everywhere he seems to go. Third line for the bread man when he comes back. Could you imagine that'd be the best third line in the league? What's up, Richie? What's going on, man? Big win tonight. And definitely let's go Rangers. Sheffra, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And cheers to you. Just guys, remember, like, share, and subscribe if you can. It helps grow the channel. I've seen Mike and others, mentioning that, but yeah, Chris, I'm with you here. They're definitely trying to justify the McDonough trade a bit. I can't see how. at this point, Nils Lundqvist or Zach Jones need to be out over Patrick Nemeth or Libor Hayek. They need it. They need it. So, could you imagine that, David, though? Brett on the third line with Chytil? Could you imagine that? If that worked somehow? Oh, man. And you're right, MJ. Strome needs to be locked up. Shefford, thank you very much. I definitely appreciate it. We all appreciate it here at the channel. I speak on behalf of all three of us. Thank you very much for the generosity. We appreciate it. We'll try to get back here. But, there's not much else I could really say about Strome. He's got to be re-signed at this point. The chemistry that he has here is just, it's got to be, it's got to happen. It's got to happen. I would love that, Gene. I just don't know if Libor Hayek would be really anything they would be looking for. But, if it gets Libor Hayek out of this organization and they can start, playing Zach Jones and Braden Schneider and guys like that more, let's go. So I'm in agreement with this, MJ. Yeah, Nemeth needs to go away. I'm done with him. I've seen more than enough to know between his other previous stops and here that he's just bad. Mark, I would disagree. Welcome to the channel, by the way. I would disagree. I don't think he's been good. I just don't. I don't think he's NHL level. I really don't. So, and Rich, this is a big thing. If they let Strome go, you're going to piss off Panarin. You don't want to do that. You really don't want to do that. I don't see the benefit of it. And I said this, and I know that you were watching when I said this several times when I was talking about, going and getting Eichel. Eichel would be the guy to get if they were going to let Strome go, because you have to get a significant upgrade over Ryan Strome if you're going to do that, because you can't risk losing that chemistry and pissing off Artemi Panarin to upgrade over Strome. It's got to be a significant one. I don't want to hear about Tomas Hertl anymore. I just don't. I like the player. I think he's good. I would like him if they could fit him in some sort of other way by moving some sort of other salary, but no, just absolutely not. McDavid, if you're talking about upgrading over Strome, that's not realistic, but I would love Connor McDavid. I'm a huge McDavid fanboy. You all know that. So I wouldn't have been disappointed if he scored, but Georgiev made that save, and I am just so happy he made that save. And that was one of the points I have. Gene, if you see my Facebook post in the group, the good, bad, and ugly post that I just made, I talked about how he went at him in front of the net. I love seeing that. That's got to endear him to the coaching staff. You got to love that if you're seeing that, if you're the coaching staff. So, but going on, it's Laffy Taffy time. He had another really good game. He had another really, really good game. So I would love to, I would absolutely love to see this going forward from him. I think these last few games have really been what you could see from Lafreniere when he's at his very best going forward. I just think the confidence needs to be there. I think the effort needs to be there consistently, but these two games were just like, wow, like this is what you want from him. So I really need to see this going forward, but I was a big fan of his game tonight. Big fan of his game. I thought he clicked with Strome and Goudreau, and I just, And you're right about this, Rich. As the Oilers fall, you can definitely see McDavid's demeanor just dropping by the minute after the way they started. So, Ariana, that's part of what I've been saying about Lafreniere with these last two games. It's just, you got to love what you're seeing from him away from the puck, too. The plays that he's making, the little plays that don't show up on the score sheet that he's making are really the biggest thing for me with Lafreniere. It's not just the points. You know what? Sometimes you're going to play well and you're going to have a bunch of chances and then you're going to ring the puck off the post. And it's not going to go in and you're not going to get that puck luck. But you know what? He's doing the little things. And that's what's going to lead to the other stuff, the offense and everything. So when you do the little things, yeah, exactly. And maybe Mike, maybe you're right. And maybe you're right too, MJ. Maybe Laffy does need to be on that second line. And fantastic. I think you're right about this. I think once those two get going, the depth on this team goes from like here to here, and that's where you want it. So, Gene, yeah, we're going to talk about the fourth line in a little bit too because they were really good. Nemeth is a meme in general, MJ. So, we're past due for an Oilers rebuild. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, patience, Shefford. You're right about this. Davey, you could be right about that. And Gauthier has been stale for a while. And you know what? I think you're right about this, Ariana. I think breaking up that line has been good. I know I called for it previously, but you know what? I'm happy with what I've seen from Lafreniere. And Gauthier played well last night, and I think he played even better tonight. I think Gauthier was really good tonight. I think if he could just start finishing on some of his chances or getting people to finish on some of the chances that he helps create, then you know what? He'll start to get the points, and you'll start to see the offense go up a little bit. Lou, welcome back, buddy. Totally agree. Very satisfying homestand. What are we going to complain about with this homestand? This homestand's been good. So, moving on to the next part. Barclay Goodrow Redemption Tour, whatever you want to call it, keeps rolling along because he had another game. And yeah, Grant, you're right about this. Sorry. There we go. We're right about this. And even Stibb says the same thing. David, I'm with you. Hunt does need to sit. And I want to see what Morgan Barron can do at this point. Give Morgan Barron a chance. Mark, you're definitely right about Gauthier being snake bitten. It just seems like when was his last goal? Was it the Montreal goal where he created the turnover on the pickpocket? Matt B, welcome to the show. I don't think I've seen you before, but hopefully you're right about that. Hopefully Georgiev's trade value is being built up because the offseason, I think he gets moved. So, and John, you're definitely right about that. One guy that needs puck luck is Gauthier. So, but Barclay Goodrow has been on fire as of late. He's been doing everything right. His skating, his defense, he's getting points. I think that whatever he's doing right now, he needs to stay. You know what, Rich? I don't know about him playing in Europe. I think something needs to change. I think a change of scenery might be the case for Chytil, but I don't know about Europe. Fantastic. I do agree with this. I want to leave this again for Q&A because I think this is a good comment. I do think we need to improve the bottom six. So, lines 1 and 4 definitely handled McDammit the right way. I like McDammit. I like how you call them this. We're going to stick with McDammit from now on. So, because that's basically what they make you say when they continue to put up points and goals on you. So, but yeah, Goodrow is keeping his skates moving. Mike, you're right. MJ, yeah, we're going to talk about Lindgren in a little bit too. So, and Matt definitely, first, like I said, first time I've seen you in the chat, but thank you very much. I appreciate the kind words, my friend. Thank you very, very much. So, but yeah, I love what I've seen from Goodrow these last few games. I don't know what's gotten into him, but whatever it is, whether he's snorting lines in the locker room, pulling an LT before games, Lawrence Taylor for all you non-football fans, or he's drinking a Red Bull, or if he's doing smelling salts before the games. I don't even know, but it just amazing. Just amazing. I love his game. He made several great defensive plays, including one that led to a break-in, and then there was a penalty that was called on the follow-up to that break-in because he kept the play alive. So, is this team the 86 Mets? I don't know, but if Barclay Goodrow continues to be like the 86 Mets and continues to play this way, I am for it. So, Barclay Goodrow has been really good. I can't say enough about his game these last few games. We need this from him. You know what? He may never live up to that 3.6 million AAV, but if he continues to play like this, then you know what? He's going to be worth most of that. So, moving on to my next point. Mika and Kreider, although not dominant like last night, solid again. solid again. I think if anything, I would. I definitely would like to see what they're doing, what they did tonight. If I could see that on a consistent basis from them, I think going forward, they're going to be fine. Chris Kreider is at the best points per game pace that he's been at any point in his career right now. I believe this is 31 points in 34 games for him. I just, you know what? He's been really good. He made several great defensive plays. And you know what? I don't know if this is the case where he just wants the captaincy or if Gallant's gotten through to him. I don't know what happened with Chris Kreider, but Chris Kreider is playing some of the best hockey I think I've ever seen him play. And you're right about that, Rich. They shut down McDavid. They played well. And David, again, yeah. You know what? You guys might be right about this. So Kreider has more goals than McDavid. Draisaitl has more goals than Kreider. Draisaitl, I think, is tied for the league lead with Ovechkin or behind him by one. So Strome definitely getting re-signed. Sean, I'm with you here. Kreider's going nuts. Mika Zibanejad really played a real good defensive game too. I think their game away from the puck was great. Again, they didn't have the points, but you know what? Sometimes that's not going to happen every night. And you know what? If you're not going to score the points and you play like that, I'll take that. I'll definitely take that. So moving on from them, Mr. Jones, because I have to do a 90s alternative reference with the Counting Crows. But Mr. Jones, he belongs. You know, Mr. Jones and the Rangers, or however you want to work the lyrics from the song. Zach Jones belongs in the NHL, and let's stop sitting this kid because he's ready. He's here, he's ready, and he looks good. And he looked real good against McDavid in front of the net. Like, how do you not love that if you're Turk? How do you not love that? I love what I've seen from Jones. He's looked really good. If anything, they need to play him more. I think he's earning minutes. And I like that they're putting him on the second power play unit. I love what I've seen from him. He just looks so good. So good. And you know what, Shefra? You know what? I might have to agree with you here. He's looked better than Nils. And he's just come in and he hasn't given a rat's ass about anything. Hey, yeah, I saw Koskinen's little cell. He looked like he got shot or something. That was kind of funny, but let Koskinen be a goon or a fool or whatever. But Zach Jones is playing great. You can't send him down at this point. You can't. He's been better than Hayek. He's been better than Nemeth. Keep him up. Keep Nils Lundqvist up. If you have to configure the pairings a little bit, configure the pairings a little bit. And you're right about this fantastic West Coast. Trip is going to be a great test. Got to play well here. So, and yes, Bruce, anytime, man, anytime. Definitely appreciate all of our regulars coming in here. So, but yeah, you're right about this. They're becoming more consistent. That's what I was just talking about. He was roughing up McDavid in front of the net, and he was really good on him there. Like, you got to love that. Like, Turk has to love that. And that's a big thing, Steve. You're right about this. Jones plays both right and left side. He doesn't care what side he plays. So, I love this little comment here. Tyson Barrie is garbage. I'm sorry I had to walk away from the Jones talk for just a little bit, but yeah. It's Zach Jones. I'm going to get back to Zach Jones just because I love Joe's comment there. But Zach Jones, he's versatile. He can play on the power play. They just love it. And as Brody says, thank you very much, Brody. Just, guys, remember, again, please like, share, and subscribe this video. Tell everybody about it. You know, Big Apple Hockey, we like to be one of the best places out there for hockey talk. I always try to do these after the games. The West Coast games, unfortunately, I will do those the next day. So I know our next game is Thursday against Vegas. That's going to be a 10 o'clock game. I will do a good, bad, and ugly Friday afternoon. So be on the lookout for that. Wednesday, I will be on our regular show with Mark and Anthony. So that'll be our regular three, the Triforce, if you will, of Big Apple Hockey will reunite on Wednesday. But I will be with you all Friday afternoon if you want. So If you're available, join me. I'd love to see you all on here again. But going on to the next point, McKegg has surprised me tonight. I thought McKegg was awesome. I think his game was really good. He made a lot of good plays, and for a guy who I've criticized for being vanilla, he played with an edge tonight. He even drew a couple of penalties. I thought he was really good off the puck, and he fit right in with Revo and Rooney. I thought his speed and Rooney's speed together really caused a lot of trouble for Edmonton, and they were a pain in the ass against McDammit. So the fourth, the McDry the dry side, I call him McDry, but McDammit would be good. So yeah. But NJ, yes, thank you. I appreciate this. We always love doing good hockey talk post game. It's always better when they win, obviously. So, and Diane, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad someone else sees it because, yeah, I love what happened with McKegg's game tonight. I don't know what got into him, but you're right, Stib. McKegg has been better than Hunt. And Gene, yeah, I'm with you on this. Yeah, I was hard on McKegg, but yeah, I like McKegg like tonight. If you get McKegg tonight, yeah, you can get more of McKegg. Hey, Coyote, welcome back. David, I would agree with you that Rooney's probably one of the most, if not the most underrated player on the team. He's one of the biggest unsung heroes this team has. And I hated that signing because he was bad with the Devils. But my God, have I ever had my words shoved down my throat about a player like Kevin Rooney has. He's been so good. I had trouble disliking any Rangers game tonight. I would say Libor Hayek would probably be the worst one for me. But yeah, they were all pretty good. But back to not that comment. Sorry, David. I liked your comment. I already addressed it. But back to this one from Dave. Yeah, Dave. I like this McKegg, but the McKegg 2 years ago was pretty good too. I thought he was solid for them at times. But I like the McKegg from tonight. If the McKegg from tonight continues to show up when he plays, that's a solid depth forward right there. So you can't go wrong with that. But I really like this game. You know what? I like this comparison a lot. Less offense, but I like the comparison because the style of game is very, very close. So, fantastic. I agree with you here. I couldn't agree more. I think McKegg can play wing. So Hunt definitely needs to sit at this point. Gene, would I start with a package of Robertson and Chytil for McCann in a second rounder, if indeed center is the get in a series run? I don't know if I would. I think McCann is an RFA, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure he's an RFA. I'm going to double check that, but I'm pretty sure he's an RFA. If he's an RFA, I don't have a problem sending Chytil away at that point. Yeah, he's an RFA. You know what? He's 25. He'll be 26 in May. Yeah, you know what? I have no problem with that at that point. If that's what it takes, you know what? I think I would be okay with that. Because I think going forward, I think that would help both teams out. And I think a deal, I think you might even be able to get McCann for Chytil straight up. I think Seattle would want to take a run at a guy like Chytil because they want a chance at the talent. I think McCann fits the Rangers. So Barron should be 3C. Yeah, John, you know what? I can't disagree with that. I think Barron at some point could be, yeah, he could be that third center, I think. I think that's what his potential, his ceiling is. So, yeah, I like when Hayek got spun around. Hayek is bad. It's funny watching him just be bad. So, but you're right. We do need another Dom more. We do. I think that's exactly what we need. So, let's see here. Yeah, Bruce, I'm with you on this. More impressed with McKegg. Hunt for the last month or so has really just not been good. I've been saying it for a while. He needs to be better. I don't think he was terrible tonight, but I don't think he was good either. Laffy scoring goals, yeah. I totally agree with you, Rich, and welcome back, by the way. He's got 8 now, so let's hope that continues to climb. And yes, Gene, yeah, I know. He could play all 3 forward positions, center, left, and right. So McCann's versatile. I think a deal straight up for them could work. I really do. And Barron and Jones need to play or be in Hartford. They get nothing for being on the team. Yeah, I totally agree with you, David. Totally agree with you here. Couldn't agree more with that. But moving on from McKegg, I've got a few more points to go over. Miller and Trouba were strong again. I think this might have been Keandre Miller's arguably his best game all year. And I think he was better than Trouba tonight. I think he was really good considering the assignments he was getting. He was logging a lot of minutes. He logged about 27 minutes last night against Tampa, and I thought was really good considering the forward competition he was dealing with, the forwards he was trying to shut down. I thought he was really good tonight, especially against McDavid and Draisaitl. I think they played really good on those guys. I thought Draisaitl was better than McDavid, but a part of why McDavid had the game that he had, which was not a good one, was because of the fact that Keandre Miller was all over him. And Keandre Miller even made an escape move and really finessed Connor McDavid getting out of the zone, which actually led to a zone entry and led to a good chance against. So, Keandre Miller was really, really good tonight. Maybe his best game all year, maybe one of the best games of his entire career. Miller was really, really good. And it's probably the best defensive game I think I've ever seen him play. Trouba made one gaffe. That was really about it. He let Hyman get behind him and take a few whacks at Georgiev, but it didn't go in earlier on in the game. You definitely read about this, Mike. Miller learning to close the gaps. Sorry, clicked too many times there. But yeah. You know what, Michael? I don't want to hear it. I told you I had things I had to do. All right? I'm trying to save money too. But I know that I appreciate the offer. I really do. There are a couple things I had to do beforehand. So I would have went, but I wanted to take care of some things. So, but again, Michael, I do appreciate that. I really do appreciate the offer on the tickets there. Yeah. And Matt, this is another good point. It's just he's continuing to get better. 2 really, really, really good, strong games in a row that you could probably put in his top 10, easily his top 10 best games these past 2 games. I just thought he was brilliant defensively in these 2 games. So, getting much better at position, Brody. You're right. The zone entry skills are there. He's got to be a little more assertive, and I do like that. So. Yeah, we all want him to play a little meaner, Shefra, but you know what? You can't turn him into a nasty guy. I just want him to use his body a little more. I don't need him to be a wrecking ball. Yes, would I love it? Absolutely. I'd love to see him destroy people left and right. But I just don't think he has that mean streak in him. So. But, Gene, you're right about this. Using less of the reach and playing the body and driving players. Yeah, and I've seen that multiple instances in the last couple of games where he pinned the guys along the boards. Bruce, yeah, I think we do need a sniper on the wings. You're right about that. Panarin is a sniper, but he's more of a playmaker. So, I didn't think Kakko was invisible, but I didn't think he was great. He was kind of there, But sometimes if you're not noticeable, sometimes it's good. I think in one of this, in these instances, I think it's just Mika and Kreider just were so good. They're kind of overshadowing Kakko. And Kakko has kind of just been a passenger because he's deferring a bit to them. So, which I understand in a way, but I would like to see Kakko assert himself more. So, Miller's issue has been gap control. Yes. Yeah. You know what? You're right about this, Mike. Gap control has been an issue for him. He was actually pretty good at it when he was younger, especially in his college days. But you know what? It's tougher to do that against NHL level players because half the guys you're going to play in college aren't even going to make the AHL. So you got to remember that. And he's figuring it out. And it looks like it. So hopefully he keeps this up. Dylan, have a good night, buddy. Appreciate that. Yeah, Rich, you're right. Nils, Zach, Miller, Schneider, one of the kids are probably going to get dealt somewhere. Let's not worry about that right now. We don't have to. So, yeah, and Dave, you're right about this. Why does he need to destroy people when Trouba's already doing that? So, Miller's big, but yeah, exactly. That's just what they're gonna. That's just what they're gonna do. Gene, I will address that in the Q&A. Actually, I definitely want to get back on track. There's only a few of these left. Turk needs a tell. Yeah, I'm totally with you. So, yeah, the prospect show. I'm sorry about the feeds on that. StreamYard crashed several times. It just was a pain in the ass. I'm sorry. I want to do one at the end of the year and give you guys a recap at the end of the year of everybody's seasons. So, but we will do more of that. So let's see here. The next one, Alexander the Great. And yes, he was great tonight. You know what? I just, he was maligned earlier on in the year. Everybody wanted him gone. I thought he didn't have much of a future here. I still think he's probably going to get dealt in the offseason just because of cap reasons. But you know what? Alexander Georgiev has been great ever since Igor Shesterkin's groin injury. And he came in tonight after not having played since December 17th. And he looked really, really good. And can we just talk about that save again? I know I've mentioned it probably about like 4 times. But can we talk about that save? Because that save was just, it was filthy. It was disgusting. I absolutely marked out, no pun intended. I went nuts. My landlord probably, if he wasn't a Ranger fan, he probably would be like, "Are you okay?" So, and that's the thing, Shefra. You deal Georgiev, who's the backup, so you don't do it during the season. You do it in the off season. They'll go out and they'll get a veteran backup. So, but yeah, he's just really, really good tonight. He was tested several times, and I just thought that his game was phenomenal. And it's good. You know what? And I saw the post-game interview with him, and he looked really happy. Especially hearing the Georgiev chants, the Georgie chants. You know what? That was just awesome. It really was awesome for him to get the chance because he's deserved it. He's played so well. He really has deserved it. So, Rich, thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. And you have a good night. I definitely love doing these, so keep joining me for them. We'll keep giving you more content, man. So, yeah, I think I might have scared the shit out of my landlords if I did that. So, yeah, Rangers just scored. So, but yeah, you're right. Gallant's got them humming, and you're right about this, Mike. Benoit is the goalie whisperer. Benoit Lair is the goalie whisperer. He's done a great job with Georgiev, did a great job with Lundqvist, done a great job with Shesterkin, but he is just phenomenal, man. He is phenomenal. So, and my next point, welcome back, Lindy. And he reintroduced himself to everybody by letting Colton Sevier know that Daddy's home. Yeah, I'm going to say it again because he just absolutely knocked him on his ass. Oh, what a great hit that was. But, I love seeing Lindgren come back. He made a gaffe that led to the goal, but overall his game was solid. He stepped right back in against one of against two of the best players, the 2 best players in the world, I should say. McDavid and Draisaitl. It's really not an argument at this point who the 2 best players are, and shut them down. So yeah, I definitely liked what I saw from Lindgren tonight. He even got involved a little bit offensively, which is good. You want to see that from Lindgren. You like to see him get some points. He took another puck to the face. That's like a regular Ryan Lindgren thing. So, Spirited, yeah. Welcome back, Spirited. And Georgiev had himself a hell of a game. So that is good. Oh, no, Slater Kuko. I'm sorry. No, but he hit He hit Sevier too earlier on. So, but yeah, he definitely hit. It was Slater Cuckoo. You're definitely right. That was the big one, but he hit Sevier too. So, and then he hit McDavid when McDavid went through the crease. So, let's see here. The next point would be the fourth line roars back. I haven't talked about them in a little bit because they had some games where they were kind of up and down, but this was a really good game for them. And yeah, I just thought Reeves' game was great. Reeves actually set up McKegg for a shot on a beautiful cross-ice pass, and it hit the post. Really good play by Revo. He made several other plays, bodying players off the puck to gain possession and keep possession in the offensive zone. Big Daddy Revo's been good. Kevin Rooney, you just got to love his game. He's an unsung hero, as we were talking about before. Yeah, he's just been nothing but good for the Rangers. So I can't complain about Kevin Rooney. And then, even McKegg, like I said before, McKegg was really good. That fourth line just overall was great between the three of them. So I love what that line was doing. And if anything, I just, and you know what? You're right. He busted up an icing call. He got in there, won the race, and bodied off the forward. Yes, Big Daddy Revo is my name for him. Kind of like Big Daddy Cool, Kevin Nash Diesel, but Big Daddy Revo, because that's what he is. He's got that swag, that Diesel swag where he does the point up in the air. So, gotta love Reeves. He's changed the culture with this team. Sorry, but as a wrestling fan, I'm going to be dropping those references left and right. So, I love what Reeves does. I really do. Just in the locker room, you can tell he's a difference maker. He's a leader. He's a guy that gets this team fired up. He's one of the pulses of this team. You know what, Gene? You're right. Reeves could have gotten a start tonight. I think he played that well. I really do. So, would I leave Laffy on Strom's line once Panarin returns? I would love to see him on right wing. If I could get him playing with Strom and Panarin, I'd love to see that happen. So, Grim Reaver, that's another one. Yeah, I know that Weebly Blue has the Grim Reaver shirt. And there you go. This is a good way to enjoy your days off, right? Off from work for 10 days and getting a Rangers win two nights in a row. So, yeah. But, yeah, the fourth line I thought was really good. And they did a really good job on both McDavid and Draisaitl. And that's a tough assignment. So, you know what? Yeah, that was really good. Gene, we're going to talk about this in the comment section or in the comments part. So, yeah, in Q&A, we will definitely talk about this because that is one of my all-time favorite matches. That's an amazing match. Yeah, and then the next point, Gauthier, noticeable again. And you know what? His game was awesome tonight. I think his game was even better than last night was. So I love what I've seen from Julien Gauthier at times this season. There was a stretch where his play was like so and kind of going down a little bit, but he came back strong and he's had two really good games in a row. So, and I think this game was even better than the last. I wouldn't even mind seeing him with Zibanejad and Kreider and seeing how those three work together, because I really think with the size and the speed there, I think he could kind of help. I think Kakko might not be the best fit with the two of them. I just don't know if Kakko can keep up with the speed. So I really like what I've seen from Gauthier in these last two games. If he could, you're right. If he could finish, that would be it. That would be it. Yeah, you know what? I think you might be right about this though, too, David. He just doesn't finish, but the energy is there a lot of the time, and he just looked really, really good in these last two games, especially tonight. I think this was one of his better games all season. So happy with that. He was good along the boards, good defensively, broke up a few plays, even kept a few alive in the offensive zone. You're right, Mike. He needs that finishing touch. Need that finishing touch. McMuffin, yeah. You might want to say that after the Georgiev save, because Georgiev made that look like a muffin when it wasn't. So, and then Foxy, just doing Foxy things. He's just Foxy man, just whatever. Hey, Dan, welcome back, buddy. Rangers at the top. We're going to talk about that in a second, too. So, yeah, he had another really good game. Tied Victor Hedman for most points in the NHL by a defenseman. So he's right back up at the top. He's got to be the Norris front runner right now, the defending Norris champ. So let's see. Let's hope that he keeps that belt for a second year in a row and he stays at the top of the podium, because if he gets 2 Norris trophies in back-to-back years at this age, Brian Leetch, move over. You might have a best defenseman in Rangers history taking your spot. And I never thought I'd say that. Oh, man, I never thought I'd say that. So, Adam Fox just doing his thing. He was really good defensively. I love what I've seen. So, he's just great. And my last point before I go into Q&A. First in the NHL. Yeah, let's go. I'm going to drink to that because, you know what? Let's enjoy it while we have it. You know, it's a night, and Washington could take that back next night or maybe the night after that or whatever. But you know what? Who the hell thought we'd be first in the NHL on January 3rd of 2022? Let's go. Enjoy it. Cheers, everybody. I'm happy. It looks like you all are happy. The Rangers are happy. They're winning. I'm having a good night. I know you all are having a good night too. I'm happy you're all on with me here. So I get to enjoy a beer with fellow Ranger fans and enjoy a Rangers win. Cheers. Yeah. So I definitely want to get into the Q&A. Gene, I'm going to get back to your comment here because I love this. Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat at WrestleMania 3 is one of the best wrestling matches ever. Ever. It's a true classic in every aspect of pro wrestling. Macho Man and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat were just incredible in that match. It absolutely stole WrestleMania 3. And you got to know that Hulk Hogan was not happy about that, because that match earned critical acclaim all across the board in 1987. So, but yeah, I that's one of my top 10 favorite matches of all time. Yes, WWE is boring now. Yes, I get it. So, John, thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate that. As always, you're very generous to us, and we always appreciate the generosity, John. Thank you very much. And cheers to you. But I just had to go back to Gene's comment because, as you know, I love wrestling. So, but yeah, enjoy it all. Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels Change Wrestling. The ladder match at WrestleMania 10 was a very good one, and they had another good ladder match, SummerSlam 95, I believe it was. So, or was it SummerSlam 94? I can't remember which SummerSlam it was, but so we love you too, MJ. We love our Ranger and Big Apple hockey community here. You guys and girls are all great. I love it. So I love doing these, and especially after wins, it's just so much better. And especially when you're first place in the league, your team first place in the league, and you're just loving it, and you're living life on the high notes, living the high life. You know, it's good because, you know what, after all the losing that this team has done, 2018, 19, and 2020 was a nice little reprieve from it. And then 2021 was just an up and down season. But to see this team first place in the NHL after all those moves that were made, Pavel Buchnevich was gone, and we were all talking about, hey, you know what? They may not end the season in first place, but you'd have told me on January 3rd in 2022 that they would be in first place, I would have laughed at you. I would have laughed. I would have said, no way. I thought that we would be fighting for a playoff spot right now, but nope. They're first place in the NHL, and especially in probably the toughest division in the NHL because Pittsburgh is coming on fast. They are coming on fast. Washington is not going away. Carolina is a great team. This division is the toughest division in the league right now. Maybe the Central is as tough, but this division just and Mike, you're right, buddy. Back-to-back games with little to no anxiety. Yeah, Spirited, you can cuss here. You can cuss. Just don't be offensive or say anything terribly awful or anything like that. No racist stuff. We don't do politics in here either. So that's another thing. I stay away from politics, please. So but yeah, I don't care if you drop an F-bomb or something like that. That's happens. It's not really I mean, it's free speech, but like I said, just don't be offensive. So yeah, I get this. Yeah, you know what? I get it. They've been a thorn in the Rangers' side for the last 30 years. So, if not more. So, you know what? You can't. You know what? It's not a problem. No Russian spam bots. I always block the Russian spam bots. So I make sure I get rid of those. But yeah, I mean, this is a night to rejoice. This is a night to rejoice. And it's great because, like Mike said, you have back-to-back wins against two of the best offensive teams in the NHL, and one of them is a Stanley Cup champion, which you had back-to-back wins against. That's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. This is how you start the new year off. And you're right about this, Gene. They have a much better bottom six that can grind the Penguins down. So, if someone will tell you that we'd beat Tampa Bay, I told you you'd be crazy. I didn't think we'd do this, especially the way that they lost to Edmonton earlier on in the season. So yeah, this is it, Diane. Party. Cheers. So, but there's just a really good way to start off the year. Two really good games where they dominated the play for the most part. They really dominated the play. I mean, really 50 really good minutes against Tampa Bay. And then the first period against Tampa Bay last night was just complete and utter dominance. Or yesterday, I should say. I keep saying last night because I think obviously all games are at night when they're not. Thank you, afternoon games that I miss and go back and have to watch. So, Gallant over Quinn, biggest win this season so far for Rangers fans. Yes, Gene, yes. All of the yes, because it's the truth, the absolute truth. If we can beat the Pens during the regular season, we can keep them on the outside looking up. Yeah, you know what? You're right about this. I think we can do that. I think we can definitely keep them. Definitely keep them on not even just on the outside, but stay ahead of them. And you know what? I don't think Tampa's defense was awful. You know what? They were really good against them in the first game, and in the second game they weren't as good. But I don't think they were awful. I think Vasilevsky was just a little rusty on that first goal. The second Mika Zibanejad goal was a lucky bounce. The Strome goal was just a really good play. He really didn't have much of a chance on that. Yeah, and I'm somewhat sorry. A viewer, a normal regular of ours, Ryan, is texting me with pictures from the game because he's at the game, and he got a picture of Ryan Reeves, which is just awesome. I'm kind of jealous of him right now. So, cheers, Tomas. Welcome back, buddy. So, yeah. Davey, do I think Gallant Can lead us to a Stanley Cup eventually? Yes, I think he can. I think he can. And I think he will. Yeah, Elliott was awful, but yeah, the Tampa Bay's defense was good in front of him in the first game. So, best part of Noah Quinn is I don't have to hear his voice in the post game. I just don't have to hear his freaking arrogant interviews. That's the biggest thing that annoyed me. He was so arrogant and would never take accountability. If you listen to him on the Cam and Strick podcast, he went on there probably like a month or so ago, maybe a little longer, maybe 2 months ago. He basically didn't take accountability for anything that he did wrong with the Rangers. So it's just like you don't learn, do you? You know, it just. Yeah, who'd thought the Rangers would have 22 more points than the Islanders in just 34 games? Not me. Welcome aboard, Ryan. I just told everybody about your picture with Reeves, bud. Oh man. Yeah, I could have went. I know. I could have. Don't rub it in my face anymore, all right? I don't need that in my life. I had things I had to do, and you know what? I am trying to save some money, and that's really the thing. So, but definitely, John, thank you very much for this. You're right. Please like, share, and subscribe, guys and girls. Definitely helps grow the channel. I always like putting out content and stuff like that. We're gonna do more. We got to just work on some more stuff, especially with the new year. So we're gonna put some more stuff out, and we will be working on that. I promise. And you're right, Sheffer Quinn lost the team last year. So, Mike, this is a good point. If we could get the third line clicking, if we get the bottom six clicking, yeah, then you know what? We could win a round. I don't know how far they go, but you know what? They could make some noise. So, the Rangers are first in the league. We had some games postponed against some easier opponents. You're right about this, Tomas. This is actually a great point. I'm going to bookmark this comment because that's one of the better points I've seen in any of the streams recently. We've had some games against some easier opponents, and Detroit's not a cakewalk anymore, but it's still easier than a team like Tampa Bay or Calgary or some of the other teams that the Rangers have faced. Vegas, who we're going to have to face again on Thursday. So, you know what? They had a game postponed against Montreal, had a game postponed against Ottawa. Those two should be wins. Detroit maybe could go either way, but they should be able to beat Detroit. So, yeah. I totally agree with that. That's a great comment, Tomas. So, the Rangers have had good coaches. Emile the Cat Francis was a great coach. Herb Brooks was a great coach. Didn't have the same success in the NHL that he did with the U.S. Olympic team, but yeah, he's. I mean, Gallant's one of the better coaches this team has had in a long time. So, yeah. So, Sheffer, you're right. If we can get Kakko and Lafreniere going, that would be huge. And Diane, you're right about this. Islander game was postponed, so yeah, that could have been points too. And that was when they were missing a ton of guys. So yeah, that could have been points for them. Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to save money, Brody, so that's another thing. But so Sean, yeah, I remember you saying that. I'm sorry to hear that they postponed that, but hopefully you guys get to go, and that'll be his first Ranger game, so that'll be good for you too, and hopefully we get a win out of that one, obviously. So with Detroit's young team, it probably helps us playing them later in the year. Yeah, I mean they're going to be probably a desperate team trying to fight for a spot at that point. I think Boston overtook them in the standings, if I recall. So hold on one second here. I'm going to check that real quick. Yes, now Boston has 34 points with 28 games played. Detroit has 33 with 33 games played. So they have one more point in 5 games in hand. Oof, it's not good for Detroit. At what point do the Rangers go for it and trade their first rounder for that forward upgrade, or is the draft too good? No, the draft's not too good this year, Grant. This is not a great draft. They can afford to trade it. If they continue this like this, the first rounder is going to be a late first rounder. So it's not really going to matter that much at that point. So Lou, have a good night, buddy. Thank you for coming on as always. You know what, Spirited, it's good to see Lafreniere score. I just want to be I just wanted to be more consistent. So Bruce, definitely agree. There were definitely some home games that were postponed that would have actually helped this team out a lot. So that would be good to get more points there. That would help because they've been really good at home, obviously. So that could be more points in the pocket. I don't want too many games to be postponed because you don't want to have to play too many games down the stretch later in the year. You want to be able to space everything out properly. AV, was it good the first 2 years? Sure, but how much of that was Henrik? How much of that was Rick Nash having a 40-goal season? How much of that was Zuccarello having a 60-point season? You know, like we gotta think about AV and really put things into proper perspective with AV. Trick to saving money, stay single. You might be right about that, Joe. Oh. Yeah, the Rangers got AV did get worse over time, right? Mike, you're right. He started making some real boneheaded decisions over the years. So, we got Rangers are bad. We got unlucky. I want to smoke whatever you're smoking, dude. If you're going to come in here and troll, sorry, but you're going to get trolled. Lay off the weed. Yeah, the Oilers are now 2-10 in their last 12. And yeah, they're pretty bad right now. So buy a jersey from AliExpress. Yeah, talking about lacking accountability. That's another coach who just doesn't take accountability for anything that he does wrong. So if we make a deal, could we get a ransom for some of our deep prospects? I don't think you're going to get a ransom for any prospect. We're not talking about Eric Lindros or Sidney Crosby here, so you're not dealing a mega prospect like that that's a can't miss, or Connor McDavid, who would have gotten a king's ransom in a deal as a prospect before he even played a game. So I don't know what you're even saying here, dude. My loves hockey, bro. Do these people even know you? LOL. Like what? What is even? Yeah, this Oilers gonna oil is right here with this one. So yeah, I don't even know what that means. Yeah, I don't even know what's going on here, but yeah, the Oilers have not been good lately. I don't know what that person is saying. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, if he's trying to troll, he's pretty bad at it. I'm gonna say that. So yeah, yeah. Seriously, I don't know where he was talking about unlucky because the Rangers dominated most of that game. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's pretty accurate, Brody. I don't know if it's a geezer. Yeah, Oilers are winning the cup. Yeah, now I know you're trolling. Okay, bud. Okay. So, continue to keep drinking, bud. That's all I'm going to tell you. Yeah, McDavid got shut down. Draisaitl got shut down. Your last, they're 2-10 in their last 12 games. 2-10. So, and their last two wins, if you want, I'll pull this up on Hockey Reference because this is where things get really interesting. So, this is going to be fun. What did Joe say? Trolling level, playoff Oilers. Oh my God. Mika is leaving Rangers. Dude, he signed an extension worth $8.5 million a year, dude. I don't know if you I don't know where you've been, buddy, but he's under contract. This guy is just bad at trolling. Joe's comment is so right about this guy. I mean, he's literally like, oh my God, they're just this guy is just, yeah. All right, so this guy is, yeah, we're blocking this guy. Sorry, but blocked. None. I just not going to waste any more further time on that. There's just no reason to. To go over the Oilers, and welcome, Steven. No more Nemeth for the love of God is right. Is right. So, yeah, I blocked him. He's done. He's done. So, bye-bye. Yeah. Oh, my God. Yes, please send Nemeth to the Oilers. Actually, no. I kind of like the Oilers. I like the Oilers. I want to see McDavid do well. I don't know what this lunatic is doing. So, fourth time this season, both Draisaitl and McDavid with no points in the same game. There you go. And furthermore, schedule and results in their last, hold on, I will give you. All right, so in their last 10 games, they are one. All right, so in their last 10 games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so in their last 10 games, they're 2-8. Last 12 games, 2-10. Ever since their last 3-game win streak from November 24th to December 1st, they have only won 2 games. Yeah. And Steven, this is another good stat. Kreider's 12 power play goals after 34 games is the second most in franchise history, trailing Marcel Dion, who, funny enough, really didn't even have a ton of points that year. I believe that was 1989 or 88, one of those 2 years. He didn't even have a ton of points that year because Marcel Dion didn't have big years as Rangers. That was the end of his career. So, yeah, as a Ranger in 80, all right. So in 87, he had 84 points in 81 games, but he only had 10 points in the 14 games when he came over from the deadline in 87 from LA. And then he had 65 points in 67 games in 88, and then 23 points in 37 games in 89. So, yeah, that Oilers guy was definitely on some sort of drugs. I don't know what he was on, but whatever. So, but here's the interesting stat about Chris Kreider. And Chris Kreider, he has 20 goals in 34 games. In 2018-19, he hit the 20-goal mark in his 37th game. And then he missed the 30-goal mark by, I believe it was 2 goals that year. I believe it was 2 goals. Yeah, that was 28 goals. Yes. So he had 20 goals in his first 37 games that year. And then in the final 45, he had 8 goals. Oh, so that's bad. So you got to hope that Chris Kreider does not have 8 goals from this point on for the rest of the season. We got to hope for like 15, like 20, that'd be nice. I want 15 at least. I want him to finish with 35, but he's also got 30 points, or was it 34 points now? So let's see here. Chris Kreider, and with tonight's game, so he had his 20th goal, and that is his 20th goal of the season. So that's his 20th goal and 31st point in 34 games. So 31 points in 34 games with Chris Kreider. He is on pace right now for 75 points. 75 points. And you were also right about this, my friend. Jones Lundqvist is better than any pairing that has Nemeth on it. Nemeth is objectively horrible. Horrible. So, Grant, Does it really come down to Hayek Nemeth being the problem with puck possession? Could we be a good possession team if all of our defensemen can make 100 foot passes like Trouba to Mika today? Yes, that's the thing, Grant. You need to be able to make outlet and area passes as a defenseman, and guys like Hayek and Nemeth can't do that. They're just not good at it, and they're not NHL level because of it. So that's the big thing. You need NHL level defensemen. So I'm just looking through some of these comments here. Sheffer has 7 20-goal seasons, 4 in a row. Yeah, you're right from Kreider. Definitely. Hartford's not a great area. I totally agree with you, Stephen. I've been to 2 Hartford Wolfpack games. Would never stay around at Hartford. Would never do it. Bridgeport, neither. So, I don't know if they should give the captaincy to Kreider. I don't know about that. I'm kind of up in the air on it. I like the idea of Fox as captain, but I'm not sure. It's going to be a tough decision to make for management. I don't envy them. So, Nemeth, you're right, Stephen. He isn't better than McElrath at this point. He's not. I would honestly. I think they're pretty evenly bad. That's the way I would say it. They're pretty evenly bad. Who has the most goals in a season for the Rangers? That's Jaromir Jagr in 2006 with 54. That's an easy one. Adam Graves had the record before that with 52, and Vic Hadfield had 50 in 1972. So, yes. So, but yeah, Jagr's 54 in 2006. That was a hell of a year for Jagr. If it wasn't for the Jarkko Ruutu hit at the Olympics, Jagr probably could have cracked 60 goals. Because Jagr's shoulder was a little messed up after that, and he wasn't the same player after the Olympics. Peter Pruka also got need on need by Turner Stevenson, had 30 goals that year. He wasn't the same after the Turner Stevenson knee on knee in Philly. Peter Pruka probably could have had 40 goals that year had not it been for that knee on knee hit. And Peter Pruka was never the same player after that. His career went downhill fast after that year. So, Jagr a top 5 player ever? Nope. I don't know. I don't think I agree with that. Forward, you could make the argument, but I don't even think so. But top 5 player overall ever? No. I'm not putting him ahead of Howe or Lemieux or Gretzky or Hasek. I think those are the top 5 players ever. Yeah, I know where he ranks in points wise and goals and assists and everything. I know he's up there. I know exactly where he is. I know how many scoring titles he's won. I know how many MVPs he's won. But I don't think he's a top 5 player ever. I just think that there are other players that are more dominant at their positions. I mean, I would probably, my top 5 ever would probably be Gretzky, Lemieux. Lemieux would probably be number 4 for me, actually. If I'm going to go in terms of other dominance, I'm going to go Gretzky. I'm going to go Orr. I'm going to go Howe. I'm going to go Lemieux. And then I'm going to go Hasek. And the reason why I say that is because before Howe, nobody dominated any game like that. Nobody. And then Gretzky came along and dominated to a level that nobody's ever dominated before. So for me, Jagr, his longevity is great. It's great. No, when you see a 42-year-old score 60 points this season, that's ridiculous. So for me, Jagr's up there. He's a top 10 all time, but not a top 5 for me. And Dominik Hasek should be a top 5 player of all time. What Dominik Hasek did was just ridiculous. I would put Ray Bourque ahead of Nicklas Lidstrom. And the reason why I do that is because Ray Bourque won 5 Norris trophies in the greatest generation of defensemen that we've ever seen and probably ever will see. So Lidstrom did not win a Norris trophy until a lot of those great defenders had retired or they were past prime. So Leach was past prime by that time. when Leach won. Leach's last great season was when Lidstrom won his first in 2001. And then Lidstrom won again in 2002 and in 2003. Niedermayer won in 2004, and then Lidstrom won 2006, 7, and 8. Char won in 2009, and then Lidstrom won again, I believe, in 2011. He won, or 2011, because Duncan Keith won in 2010. So, but Lidstrom did not win until late in his career. And with that generation of great defenders like Bork, Leach, Chelios, Blake, Suter, McInnes, Pronger even won one in 2000. Pronger won one before Lidstrom won one. So, and Pronger won an MVP in 2000. He's the only other defender aside from Bobby Orr to win the Hart and the Norris in the same year. So think about that. But for me, Lidstrom is great. He's probably the third best defenseman of all time, but I will take Bork over him. And Bork played against Gretzky. Bork played against Lemieux in their primes. I would have to say that for me, Bork winning 5 in the era that he won them in, with the competition that he won them in for the Norris, is more impressive for me than Lidstrom. And that's not taking anything away from Lindgren. So, but you're right about this, Mike. Foxy could create new records. Totally agree with that. I totally agree that Jágr's timeless. He really is. Rich Ranger had the best season of all time. It's got to be Jágr. Jágr in 2006 was the most dominant Ranger I've ever seen. And he was almost a one-man dynamo. He dragged Nylander and Strock on his back. Dragged them. So. Bork also has the second most All-Star game appearances. Yeah. No. Potvin, I could think of a few defensemen that I would put ahead of Potvin. I would put Lidstrom. I would put Orr. I would put Shore. I would put Harvey ahead of him. Doug Harvey is probably my number 4 defenseman of all time, behind Lidstrom, Bork, and Orr. And yeah, Diane, Jágr was robbed of the Hart. You're absolutely right about that. Jágr did kill the Islanders, Sheffra. He was an Islander killer. He loved playing against them, whether it was Pittsburgh, Washington, or the Rangers. He loved playing against them. No, we're not talking about Felix Potvin. We're talking about Dennis there. No, Stevens is not a top 10 for me. I think Niedermayer was better than Stevens. And that just goes to show you. So, and it's not just because he won a Norris. Niedermayer won a Stanley Cup in 2 different places, and he won a Conn Smythe in Anaheim in 2007. Niedermayer to me was a much better defender than Stevens, because Niedermayer, his defense got better as he went along, and his offense was good up until the very end of his career. Stevens' offense went off a cliff after 94. So, yeah, this comment gets a thumbs up from me. So, Coffee was arguably the greatest offensive defenseman of all time. I still put Orr ahead of him because Orr is the only defenseman to win the Art Ross. But yeah, I wouldn't put him in the top 5 all time. He's one of the top 5 greatest offensive defensemen of all time, but overall defenseman, no. And a lot of his big offensive seasons, if you look at Coffey's big offensive seasons, they were always with a great center. Like his peak years were with Gretzky. And then he also played a good portion of his peak years with Lemieux, and then with Yzerman. And then after he was done playing with those 3 centers, then his numbers fell off. But that was also towards the end of his career. Yes, Jágr is a gay fish. I love the South Park reference. Yeah, I've been saying this for a long time, Steven. They needing a Bobby Orr trophy. I've said this for years. No, I would say Leach was better than Housley. Housley is definitely up there for me in terms of American-born defenseman, but I would say Leach was better. I would say Chelios was better, but Housley's right there. So no, the Norris is not supposed to be for the best offensive defenseman, but offense is sexy and it gets votes, and that's why a lot of the times these guys do it. They need a Bobby Orr trophy, whether it's just a straight up scoring trophy for the top scoring defenseman, or whether it's just a voted award for who they think is the best offensive defenseman. But Orr is they need a Bobby Orr trophy. It's too long. Yeah, we'd all love to have seen Vladislav Tretiak in the NHL. The Montreal Canadiens drafted him in '83, and he never came over. So, Fox for Norris, yes. Makar for Orr, yeah, I have no problem with that. Cale Makar is probably the best offensive defenseman in the league. Yeah, Al McInnes was really good. He was really good. He's one of the last two defensemen to score 100 points in a season. He did it in 1991. Which was the year before Brian Leach did it in 1992. So Chris Pronger and Brad Park were very good, but definitely not top 10 defenders of all time. So, yeah, you know what? I would like to see a Rod Langway trophy too. I definitely would definitely like to see a Rod Langway trophy. Rod Langway, funny enough, is the only defender in the modern era in the NHL to win the Norris Trophy scoring less than 40 points in a season. And he did it in the early 80s. In a time where offense was just through the roof. Rod Langway won back-to-back Norris trophies without even scoring 40 points in a season. Think about that. That's how good Rod Langway was defensively. Yeah, that's nuts. And they should have a trophy for him for just his incredible defense. Yeah, that's right. So 1983 and 1984, 32 and 33 points respectively. His career high in points was 45 in 1981 with Montreal, and he finished 5th place in the Norris Trophy voting. But Rod Langway won back-to-back Norris trophies, back-to-back Norris trophies with Washington in 83 and 84, and he had 32 and 33 points in those seasons. That is nuts. Sheffer, yeah, Larry Murphy is definitely underrated. Definitely underrated. Dan, I get what you're saying with the Mack Truck Trophy, but you gotta call it the Rod Langway. It's definitely the Rod Langway. Lindy and Fox and Rangers pairings is probably one of the best Rangers pairings ever. Leach and Bukaboom you have to look at. Any pairing that Harry Howell was on, I mean, just the Rangers don't have many great defensemen in their history. So, but Lindgren and Fox definitely one of the greatest, definitely one of the greatest pairings ever. The criteria with the Norris was no, not really. The Vezina is. The Vezina became a voting trophy in '83 because they used to just give it to the goaltender with the lowest goals against average. That's what I think you might be confusing, Dave. So, I don't agree with this, Mike. I don't think the McDonough trade's good, but best defensive defenseman right now or all time, Davey? All time? All time in terms of pure shutdown defense, Lidstrom, maybe, I would say. But right now, I would have to say Jacob Slavin and maybe Adam Pelech right behind him. So, yeah, and Rod could scrap as well. Yeah. Greshner is a very good defenseman. Was good offensively, but not the greatest not the greatest overall defenseman. So, yeah, the best pairing is not Hayek and Nemeth. God, if I have to watch that, sorry guys. If I have to watch that pairing, I'm gonna put my head through a wall. So, hey MJ, Barry Beck, shoot the puck. Barry, shoot the puck. So, yeah. Stevens is one of the better defensemen of all time. Yeah, definitely. He's definitely up there. Probably a top 5 for me, but I would probably put Langway ahead of him because for Langway to win back-to-back Norris trophies with not even scoring 35 points, that's ridiculous. That goes to show you how good he was defensively. In the 80s. Yeah, it was a fleecing for Tampa. Yzerman absolutely killed Gorton in that one. Welcome aboard, buddy. First in the league is right. Cheers. Oh, my God. Great game tonight. Brent Burns, offensively, yeah, he got a Norris trophy for his numbers. So, Hayek Nemeth might be the best AHL pairing. I don't even think they're that. No, yeah, I could see your comments. I can't just get to all of them. I'm sorry. So, Kevin Lowe is definitely one of the best defensemen of all time. Absolutely. He's probably a top 10 for me. So, and yeah, I you know what? I don't know about that. I think it's very close. I can't definitively agree with this though. No, it's Blue Moon Light Sky, Sean. I'm not an IPA guy, but I would give Broken Skull a try just because it's Stone Cold's. So, yeah. Well, Sather. Yeah, I love how you say Sather because we have a feeling Sather is behind that. Yeah, send Nemeth to the sun, the ocean, whatever. Anything away from here. So, yeah. So, as you can see, Sean Banner, first in the NHL, soaking in Ranger fans. I'm going to leave that up there because it's good vibes. It's good tonight. It's good vibes tonight from everybody. So, Nemeth to parts unknown. I like the Ultimate Warrior reference there, John. Definitely. He's talking about the Marty St. Louis trade. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, he could be talking about it because Glenn Sather might have been behind that, and he killed Drury on that. And we all know that Sather's probably doing a little work behind the scenes. But yeah, he is talking about that. So yeah, the MSL deal. I would call that MSL. Marty St. Louis. Man who wished me a happy birthday. Very happy about that. So Nemeth to Death Valley, the Undertaker. We're gonna tombstone him. Undertaker's big enough to do it. So our third period shut down over the past couple of games, looking so tight and cingy. Yeah, you know what? And that's the thing. You gotta get that lead, and you gotta lock down in that third period. And they've locked down in both games. So I love what I've seen from this team. I really have. I'm happy. So Drury needs a tiny bit of props. You know what? They're playing well. So will we give him credit? I'm still not a fan of the Booch deal, but you know what? Swedish Jeff Wojtka. Oh my God. Wow. MJ, happy birthday, bud. Enjoy it. Cheers to that. Our man, you're right about this. Welcome back, by the way. He's been great. The first periods have been great. So I do agree. Nemeth or truth or consequences. Oh, I'm throwing Cactus Jack on me now, John. Oh, there we go. He was a good player, but you give up Cali 2 firsts. Yeah, that was bad. They were desperate to get that deal done. That was bad. So, you're right. Sean, I will check that out. I will go check that out. I am more of a fan of loggers than I am IPAs. So, Mike, what do I think of Jones' game? Like I said in the talking points, I think he's been really good. There is no reason why he should sit at this point. You can't sit him. Adjust this a little bit. Yeah, I don't think you could sit him at this point. I think he's been too good. I think he's ready. He looks crisp skating-wise with the puck, decision-making, just everything just looks good with him. He's made some really good passes. And the problem with guys like Hayek and Nemeth is that they can't make those plays. They can't make those passes. You need to be able to make those passes against higher skill teams. And those guys can't play anymore. They can't. It's time to start playing Zach Jones and let this kid marinate. He's ready. He's almost a point per game in Hartford. Let the damn kid play. There isn't a whole lot else I could really say. I just think that they held on to him for a reason. They didn't want to give him up in any trade. And he's really made the Rangers brass look smart for that. So the only place for Nemeth to go is the Oilers. Worse punishment than parts unknown. Oh, no, I think I'd rather have him listen to Ultimate Warrior promos. So parts unknown for me. Nemeth, Eric Brewer. Yeah, but Eric Brewer was okay for a while. Nemeth has just never been good. So, yeah, 25. That's awesome. Happy birthday. And I wish I could trade places with you. I wish I was 25 again and not 36. I like Blay. I think he'll be a good player. I just don't think that it was a good trade. So yeah, you could have gotten Blay, and I would have been okay if they traded a second rounder for him or a third rounder or something, but they just gave up too much. Just my thoughts. Undertaker versus Ryan Reeves. We're talking peak Undertaker because I don't think Ryan Reeves stands a chance against peak Undertaker. Undertaker was a real tough SOB in real life. So yeah, and you know what? He earned it. Yeah, you're right. And he roughed up McDavid in front of the net. So you know what? You gotta like that if you're the coaching staff. I think they were really good with letting him play. They gave him minutes. Turk trusted him, had him out there late for a bit. I think he's been good. I don't see how you can send him down at this point. Kakko is showing guts now. You know what? I haven't really been a fan of his as of late. I think the first line is a little too much for him. I think he would fit better with Strome and Panarin. I just don't think he has the speed to keep up with Zibanejad and Kreider. I just don't think his game fits their game, to be honest. Do I think they've been playing over Jones because he's more of an offensive D man? I think they like the size from Nemeth and Hayek, and I think it's stupid. Those two just don't like. Nemeth plays physical, but he can't really catch anybody. What's the point if you can't catch somebody? You can't hit what you can't catch. So, and then this is it, really. It just the height supremacists and the size supremacists, if you want to call them that. It's just it doesn't do anything if you can't play the game of hockey. You know, I can go get Peter Worrell to play, but Peter Worrell couldn't play hockey to save his life. Undertaker in a fight in a ring. Who would I put my money on, him or Reeves? Undertaker. Nemeth to the double cross ranch. Oh God, Terry Funk. Wow. He gives a great interview. Very pro. Yeah. Woo, with a little woo for Ric Flair right there. I see that we're doing wrestling references now. Laffy trending up. I don't know if Kaapo is improving yet. You know what? I want more from Kakko. I want more. So, Arizona, worse place now than Edmonton. Yeah. Ultimate Warrior promos were epic if you had something to get you inebriated with, because they didn't make sense if you didn't. Undertaker. Yeah, like I answered before. I'm going Undertaker. Buchnevich has 30 points in 33 games. He's scoring at Chris Kreider's pace. Kreider is 31 in 34 games. And yeah, and that's part of why I love this, MJ, is the community here is amazing. I'm probably going to go to 12, by the way, guys. So the community here is amazing. It's awesome. We have a great thing going here. And that's why we get rid of the trolls as quickly as we do, because we just don't want to bother. That guy gave me a laugh for a few minutes, but I had to get rid of him. So Community here is amazing. The hockey talk is great. Everybody's really respectful and supportive of each other here, and it makes it that much better and easier, you know? So, Sean, you're right about this. Taker does train MMA. I don't know if Reeves does, but yeah. Strome is here to stay. Yeah. I said this before. There's no way that there's no way they walk. Diamonds and forever, and so is Nick Jones. Zach Jones? Are we doing a Ric Flair promo here, Michael? So, true, but he did break up the rush, and Panarin is out right now. I think he needs a confidence booster. Yeah. Oh, that's what I said before, Steven. Size is useless if you can't catch your opponent. You can't. Strome is staying. Anybody who thinks he's gone he's out. Coyote is the Nemeth, or Nemeth is the Coyote to everyone else's Roadrunner. Yes, he is. Kakko's been playing okay defense. I still want more from him overall. I want more. I'm sorry. I want more. If size is important as some fans think it is, Fox wouldn't be in the league and McElrath would have 3 Norris trophies. Yeah, it would be. Same size supremacists, also 2 center supremacists thinking that we don't have a number 2 center yet. We do. Meet Ryan Strome. Yeah. Funk, middle-aged and crazy. Nemeth, young-aged and lazy. I like it. We're glad to have you a part of it, too. We really are. Nemeth to Dudleyville. Yes. Devon, get the tables. Thank you, Sheffer. I appreciate it. You do as well. And all you guys do. Love it. I thought you were going for the Ric Flair comment there, Michael. I really did. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep up with all the comments here. Info you heard today, their thoughts about an OHL shutdown, and the Rangers have spoken to Othman and Coley to bring them to the AHL. Ooh, okay. All right. I like that. Reeves versus Lesnar? No, it wouldn't. Lesnar would absolutely kill Reeves. Lesnar is just, he's trained in MMA. He's a former UFC World Heavyweight Champion. Lesnar is one of the toughest SOBs on the planet. Oh, God. Bruce, Jones is not as big as the other two, but it has more flexibility. And yeah, I like what he did. McDavid is not a super tough guy, but he's really good. And he's getting more of an edge to his game. So for me, for Jones to step up and take on McDavid in front of the net, when McDavid has a considerable size advantage over him, I like that. Yeah, and Othman got his 21st goal. He's been playing great this season. There you go, Sheffer. Congrats. I'll drink to that. Cheers. Spirited, you're right about this. Georgiev, with all the rust, not having played, like I said before, since December 17th, comes back and plays great against Edmonton, gets some redemption. So, Arizona's great place to play sunshine, and you play golf every day. Yeah, I'd rather go to Arizona, too, than Edmonton. Edmonton's like Siberia in Canada. People are talking Undertaker versus Reeves, like Undertaker the wrestler, Undertaker McElrath. No, they're talking Undertaker the wrestler. McElrath isn't going to do anything. Woo! Just had to get that one out. Sorry. Lesnar won the UFC title. Yes, he did. And he defended it a couple of times. Spirit, yeah. Yell at Nemeth to go back to Winnipeg and turn into yell, I'm from Sweden, you idiot. Ric Flair, alligator shoes, Nemeth, cement shoes. Yes, this is accurate. Garvin, my shoes cost more than your house. Woo! Yeah, I remember when Ric Flair told Ronnie Garvin that his shoes cost more than his house, because they probably did at that time. So, and yes, you did. You definitely have a lot of friends here. Always welcome here. Always come and join us. Like I said, MJ, we do Wednesday streams afternoon, and then I do these after the games. Like I said, I will not be doing them after the West Coast games. It's just too late. I'm sorry. I'm not going to have enough of you guys up, and it's going to be way too late. So I will do them the next day after the West Coast games. When was the last time we had Probably Richter and Van Beesbrook, I would say, Steven. 90, 92, 93, 91, 92. So. And today's Georgiev champ was amazing because it was this redemption. Georgiev redemption season, yes. The Rock versus Reeves. I mean, Dwayne's a big dude. I don't even know if Ryan would want to take him on. Yeah, I love Jones's game too, Shefra. I really do. I mean, I love it. MJ, where in Canada are you from? Rugged Ronnie Garvin? I know him as the Fists of Stone Ronnie Garvin. We're talking NWA Jim Crockett Promotions, Mr. Knockout Punch Ronnie Garvin. The Devils fans do the Ric Flair. Let them have it. They have nothing else. Let them have it. Who cares? Chris Frost, welcome back, buddy. You guys, do I think they're still planning on trading Georgiev? Yeah, probably in the offseason. I just don't think they're going to give him the contract that he's going to want. Do I think Ric Flair was really making enough to afford Rolexes? Yes, he was. He was $1 million wrestler back in the 80s. I am not kidding you. Watch all the stuff, the shoot interviews. Jim Crockett himself even said that he was paying Flair over $1 million a year back then. Yeah, he was. And the money from the houses that they were getting, I mean, those places, some of them were small, but they were selling out all over, and they were doing shows. They were doing shows all over the place, one every night. Flair was all over the place. He was going and doing morning tapings in Atlanta, in the Superstation studio on Wonder Tech Drive or whatever the hell that was, in the little studio, and then he'd be out in another city that night, with a house show. So yeah, Flair was definitely making that money. Yeah, and the chant definitely sent chills down my spine too. I was happy for him because he's deserved that. That's awesome. From Vancouver. That's great. I'm talking Royal. Yeah, I mean, that was a good match. That was probably Garvin's best match in the WWF. The last I remember of Garvin was him getting squashed by Earthquake, but they were building up Earthquake at that time, and that was great. But I remember Garvin for his feuds with Flair and the Midnight Express, and you know, his heel turn on Dusty Rhodes in '88 at the Great American Bash. I remember Garvin for that. So I admit I hate every time Georgiev is net wanting me to win. Igor's still number one. You don't have to hate Georgiev. He's going to be the backup. I'm just going to tell you this, Matt. He's going to be the backup. The plan is Igor is the number one guy going forward. He's established himself. But we got to root for Georgiev. We got to be happy for this guy. So next season, we'll have Kincaid and then 3 kids in Hartford. Yeah, you know what? That's fine. I think they might look into the UFA market for a backup. So his net worth is worth $500,000, but that's also because he blew a whole bunch of money. That's why. Gerard, Huska, and Wall, yeah, that's some good AHL depth to have. Yeah, Hayek hit Stamkos the other night. I don't think it was accidental. It was good to see, but I mean, one of the very few good things Hayek has done recently. Flair was working over 300 dates as a headline. He was making that. You're right. This was the thing. This is what I was saying. He was working over 300 dates a year every night at the main eventer. He was making bank. I think it was like 10,000 or something like that, Dave. I think that was the case. It was in the thousands. I think it was like over 10,000. I'm not even lying when I say that because he had a different woman every night, everywhere he was going. So, yeah, you know what? Maybe they do re-sign Kincaid, Chris Frost. Maybe you're right about that. It's possible. It's very possible. I think, yeah, I have 2 words for you. I think I know where this is going, buddy. I think I know where that's going. So, the Fabulous Freebirds. Another great faction. Michael Hayes was the reason for entrance music. Just know that. Shesterkin Shesterkin, as his actual name is, tied for the 5th highest save percentage after 68 career NHL games. I saw your stat earlier on. Tuukka Rask was on that list, I know. So yeah. So yeah, that's a really good number. Diane, good night. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate it. Gerard, I love what Dylan Gerard is doing. No, I like Kincaid. I just don't think he's a great NHL level goaltender. If he could be an okay backup, great. I think they might look to upgrade over him in the offseason. That's the thing. Yeah, that save was amazing. We were talking about that before, Gerald. Definitely agree. So, how long before Igor gets the blame like Hank did? Fans are fans. Listen, the only time I've ever blamed Hank for anything were two series where I thought that he wasn't himself. The Tampa Bay series in 2015, which he was not good in that series, especially in the middle part of that series, and then the Ottawa series in 2017. I do agree with you here. Huska is the number one AHL guy. I don't see him as an NHLer. I don't. But that's the thing. That's the other side of it. Benoit Allaire is the goalie whisperer. So he's done a lot with goalies. Flair 300 dates a year. I can. Flair definitely had 300 dates a year. Different types of dates, but he had 300 of those a year. Flair looks at all the women I sleep. Yeah. Yep. Flair he could one up Will Chamberlain. Tell you that right now. Chris, have a good night, buddy. Appreciate you coming on with me. Yeah, and Kurt, what happened to all the goalie draft picks? Why is Kincaid? Kincaid he's AHL depth. There's nothing wrong with having him around as an AHL starter. There's nothing wrong with it. That's what he is. He's a good AHL starter. Yeah, that's the thing. Flair had like 4 or 5 wives. Heidi, I think, is his current wife. She was the maid Fifi back in the early 90s in WCW, if you remember her. That's now his current wife. Crazy, right? But yeah, they've been together for a long time. So, and yeah, I don't know if Fleury or Holtby will take I don't know if they'll take a backup position, and I don't know if they're going to be within the cap range that the Rangers are going to want to look at. So, Allaire, Mike, you're right. Allaire can do a lot of wonders with goalies. We've seen it with Talbot. We've seen it with Ranta. He helped Marty's career. Bruce, thank you for coming on with me, man. Appreciate it. Have a good night. Wendy. Sorry, that's her name, Wendy. Why did I think Heidi? Okay, I had the sounding of the name right, ending in the E sound, but it's Wendy. Sorry, I forgot. So yeah, and this is it, Brody. He's a local guy and he's serviceable depth goaltender. Yeah, nothing to mind. Yeah, hopefully you get better with that. Yeah, I had it back in March, Bruce, and it was not fun. So definitely take care of yourself and be careful. Hopefully you don't have any problems with your breathing. I had a little bit that I was having trouble with, but be careful, all right? And definitely feel better soon. So 7 wives it is. Flair, 7 wives. Makes sense. Yeah, and like I said, Sean, Wendy was the maid Fifi in the when he had the Flair for the Gold show in the early 90s, and she used to come on with the pay-per-view events, and Mean Gene used to hit on her. Yeah, that's Flair's wife now. So, but Allaire also worked with Hobby Bullin in Arizona. Oh yeah, that's a good call right there. Yeah, CBD always helps. Definitely, if you're allowed to use that stuff works. I've heard it works wonders, especially even for people who have joint pain and are suffering from injuries too. So Thank you very much, Bruce. Take care. Appreciate it. But yeah, we're this has been a good night. It really is. We're gonna do probably about 10 more minutes. That'll run to about that'll run exactly 2 hours. That'll run exactly 2 hours. Nemeth to the Dungeon of Doom. Oh my god. The Dungeon of Doom was so bad in the mid-90s. Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan, the Giant, the Zodiac, the Avalanche, and all those other guys. Yeah, they were awful. Ugh. And yes, Road Warriors, greatest tag team ever. Greatest tag team ever. I am a huge Road Warriors fan. They're my favorite tag team of all time. Young Bucks are probably my number 2. So, Road Warriors for me. I loved Road Warriors as a kid. Iron Man is actually the first rock song that I can remember being in love with. Nemeth is Shockmaster on Ice. Oh my god. Oh man, poor Fred Ottman Tugboat. He was doomed from the start with that gimmick, and that was all Ole Anderson's fault. Oh my god. Oh, terrible. Yeah, definitely. We're all friends in this community, MJ. We're all friends here, and we love talking hockey, and you know what, and I hope that I can have all you guys meet up soon. Oh, that's right. We got to do the meetup for the Boss Croakers. So hold on. Let's just okay, so it was supposed to be the 6th, but I got to talk to Mark about that. Or was it the 9th? I got to talk to Mark about that. There was supposed to be a meetup for that, but I don't know if what's happening with that now because I haven't heard a whole lot from him about it. If not, we're going to try to reschedule and do a new one. But yeah, oh my God, if there was a Nemeth falling off the bench and mix it with Shockmaster, oh my God, yes. Oh, I'd go to Croakers, but their bartender can be a real jerk. I thought your complaint about the bartenders at Croakers was that you would have to listen to their relationship problems, not that they were jerks. And in that, I would say, yeah, you would have to listen to his relationship problems. You're in for a long night. Yeah, Ryder Korzak was that was a good one. That was good night, Gerald. Have a good night. But yeah, Steven getting Ryder Korzak some love on there. Will Cooley got some love on there recently. Brendan Hoffman got some love on there. I like the whole prospect. I like the whole prospect reports. I think that's cool that they do those. So, yeah. Damn. Definitely. Yeah. Check, please. Yeah. That's definitely something that Mark probably hears a lot when he starts talking about his relationships. So yeah, it's funny to mention that. But don't have to listen to relationship problems when you don't have one. I'm trying to highlight this comment. Yeah. No. You're still gonna have to listen to Mark's relationship problems. It's gonna happen. Trust me, it will. Mark isn't a jerk. He just thinks he's Superman. I don't know. Oh, you know what? Yeah, it got cut up because we had StreamYard crash on us 3 different times. Yay! Thanks, StreamYard. So, yeah, so check out our prospect episode. Mr. SS Vogel right there, who's Steven, Statboy Steven, was a part of it with us for that. So, yeah, MSG getting one up by Steven and me and us. So you know what? We have to give the prospects love. We do. They need love. So, Dan, thank you for coming. Have a good night, buddy. Appreciate it. Does that mean that the bartender has to tip you there? Yeah. If you ever happen to go in the Boss Croakers and you have to listen to Mark's relationship stories, tell him to tip you. And don't say that I said that, but tell him to tip you. Oh, it would be funny. So. Oh, yeah. Carrie Von Erich. Yeah. Carrie Von Erich. sad story. Just a very, very sad story. So, yeah, you're right. Mark should tip us. He should. With all the relationship problems he has and how he has to talk about them, he should probably tip us. So, but yeah, Mark's a good guy. I've known him for, let's say, closing in on 10 years now. So, yeah. But I'm not posting that comment. I just saw that comment. I'm not posting it. Oh God. Oh. Now this comment I will post because that's hilarious. When are we gonna get him a give up on dating? Oh God, the last 5 minutes of this is gonna be a Mark bash fest. Oh my God. And yeah, David, you're right. The Von Erich Dark Side was one of the saddest ones ever. Brody. Thanks, Brody. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Oh man. I love doing these, and super chats are awesome. Oh my God. Oh my God. The super chats are for a mail order bride. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Anthony's mohawk got the night off. Oh, my God. This is going to be a troll fest for the last few minutes. You could say the episode gets messier about Mark. Oh, I like that one. Your little pun there. I see what you did there. This is where I need I see what you did there, or what you did there. I see it, Pelican. I need that GIF. I need that meme because it was just perfect. As in Mr. Perfect. Yeah, he asked you to join the channel. So, you know what? Join it. The Bruiser Brody story was a sad one, too. Yeah, how he was killed by Invader 1, Jose Gonzalez, in Puerto Rico, because Carlito's father thought that he was going to go into business for himself, or he thought Brody was going to go into business for himself, and he wasn't going to sell. So, MJ, thank you for joining. You have a good night. Stay safe as well. Let's go Rangers. Mark puts more time into all things Mets than all things Rangers. Well, I mean, he's trying to do this. I'll give Mark credit. It's tough doing all this stuff. It really is. It's not easy. He does put a lot of time into this, and he's doing a pretty good job of it. So I got to give him credit. So it's tough. Yeah, we all love Mark. We all love Mark, and that's why we make fun of him the way they do. You guys probably make fun of me on. So thank you, David. So isn't he only? Oh my God. Yeah. He might be a little lonely. Who knows? We want. I saw your comment here, Shefra. We want the cup. A little early for that, but yes, both Mets and Dolphins fans. Yeah, you guys have it there. So Mark's a good guy. We wouldn't have Big Apple Hockey without his dedication. Totally right about that. Totally right. Mark's relationship story would make Macho Man and Liz SummerSlam wedding seem like it went up. Oh, yeah, we all like breaking Mark's balls. I do my fair share of it too, Mike. Don't worry, man. All three of us rock. Thank you very much, Sheffer. You guys all rock too. You guys are the best. You really are. Just join. Bill, you joined it like the worst time. I'm about to go off, but they played well, played really good. So, yeah, they were really, really good. So, Edmonton didn't really muster much offense. They got a goal, but it was kind of just a quick defensive breakdown, and they really got back into their form afterwards. They shut down McDry, as in McDavid and Draisaitl. So that's what I just called him, McDry. I've heard them called as McDammit. So, do I think we have the best goalie tandem in the league right now? They have one of them. Yeah. So. Yeah, and we love the whole team equally. Would you like to roast them? Mark does have his own show. He has NHL Snipes with Mark, so join him for that. Kurt, there's a $sign at the bottom on YouTube, and you could send it through there. You just click on the $sign, and it basically puts you. It'll kind of guide you through it. So, all things Mark's relationships. Oh God, yeah, it's the $sign below the chat. So, Mark to dominate. Oh my God, you guys are ridiculous. Oh man, you guys are out of your minds, and I love it. But I am going to wrap this up for tonight. It's been 2 good hours of hockey talk. Oiler Troll was definitely jealous. This is a good comment. We have 2. I don't know if Igor gave us a starter, but he's playing very well. But we have 2 good goaltenders, and they have none. You have Koskinen and Smith. Oh. Makes me want to throw up. So, good night, Steven. Good night, everybody. I will, like I said, I will be doing these the next day after the West Coast games because it's just too late. So, I wouldn't even be starting these at this point with the West Coast games. So, I will do them the next day after the West Coast games. So join me the next day after the West Coast games for the good, bad, and ugly. I will do these. If it's a Wednesday, I probably will just do the show. We'll have the good, bad, and ugly on the normal Wednesday show. So thank you all for joining. Just remember, like, share, and subscribe if you can, please. Helps the algorithms. We love it. And as Mike said here, good night, last chance to like, share, and subscribe. Please do. Helps us show up. Helps us get noticed. And, when people are looking for hockey stuff and they go through YouTube and they watch hockey stuff, our stuff will come up more. So the channel will grow. Please help us with that. We appreciate it. We really do. It means a lot to us. And thank you all who gave us super chats and donations. We appreciate that. But you know what? Great night for the Rangers. Great win. And let's just keep this going. Good vibes to everybody. Guys and girls, stay safe. And let's go Rangers.